Hey, what's up, guys? Sam here. I make medically related videos, and today I'm going to be talking about whether or not you should attend class live or watch the class after a recording of the class. Because right now in this pandemic, we are having the option of lots of online classes, so I felt it was a relevant video. This video does only go for the people that have the option to go to class or watch the lecture online later. It's not for people who have mandatory attendance to a class. And if you have mandatory attendance to a class, you're probably getting participation points or attendance points. So just go to class. Don't be lazy. Go to class. But this is a video for you if you have the option to go to class or not. So I'm going to lay out a few pros and cons here. All right, first for the pros of attending lecture live. One of the best things I think is you get to keep a schedule. So you know what time you're going to class, you know what time you're waking up, and you have this all mapped out. So if you're one of those people that I guess likes having a schedule and you like being held accountable to going to class, then maybe going to class live is a thing for you. Kind of branching off my point about keeping a schedule, it makes you wake up in time, especially if you have earlier classes. So in particular, my classes right now, they start at 8:30, and I've been skipping the first lecture every day and just watching it later in the day. And I wake up at like 9:30, which probably isn't the best habit, but in my case, I think I'm more of a night owl and I'm productive later in the evening, later at night, and I can sleep in and I feel more rested when I sleep in. The earlier I try to get up, I don't know, it's tougher for me. So I feel like I get the adequate studying by not getting up and studying later, but I could see some benefit in people, if you're one of the 6:30 risers and you're ready for class at 8 a.m. and you're already up, might as well just attend the class at that time. So yeah, if you can get up early and you like getting up early and like maintaining that schedule, I would say attending lectures is probably for you. And my last point to attending lectures live is that you can ask professors questions in real time and get answers immediately to those questions, which right before a test or really anytime you have a question on the top of your head and it's going to bother you for a bit, I think that's invaluable. Getting an answer from a professor to just elucidate a topic and then a follow-up question so say you ask a question and a professor doesn't completely answer that question, then you can follow up with another question immediately right there instead of having to shoot them an email or see an email reply hours later or even days later sometimes. So that's another huge benefit, I think, as to attending live in person. And now I'm going to go over some of the cons of attending class live in person. Or not in person, sorry, I keep saying in person. But live on the Zoom view. All right, I'm all about efficiency personally. So most of my lectures are on a learning software where you can double speed them after and view the lecture in 2x speed. So when I can watch an hour lecture in 30 minutes, especially when it's over something that's more review for me, I like to do that so I can be more efficient with my time, save me 30 minutes out of an hour, maybe sometimes less than that because you have to pause every now and then. And yeah, that's a huge benefit. You can save a ton of time just by double speeding or even going over double speed. I've never done that before, but I've heard of some people doing it on the lectures. And maybe 1.5 speed, just play around with the speed, whatever you're more comfortable with. If you're more comfortable with the material, then speed it up. If you're less comfortable with the material, I would say slow it down. And that kind of brings me to my next point here is that whenever you're not understanding a topic and you're viewing a lecture that's already recorded, so you're not attending live and you're seeing the recording, you can pause that topic and think about it for a bit, write it down, pause the slide so the professor doesn't skip through the slide and onto the next material, and you can conceptualize that yourself. You can take that time and kind of get that to work in your brain, and even you can go back in the lecture. So you can rewind 30 seconds, have them say it again, and maybe do it 2 or 3 times if it's something you really don't understand. So that for harder parts and topics that you don't understand, I think, being able to go back and see those topics again is huge. And then there may be a part even in that same lecture where you're more comfortable with the material. So 2x that, get through it quick. So it's more efficient. It allows you to pick out what you know and don't know, and it allows you to go back if you don't understand something. The final point I want to make about not attending lectures live is that it allows you to create your own schedule. So if you have a workout to do at 1 p.m., if you want to meet a friend from out of town, just last week, I was going to the airport. I was going back home for the weekend, and I had a lecture at 1 p.m. and I completely skipped that lecture and just watched it later in the day because I had my flight then. And if you're able to know in your head and have the discipline to say, I am going to sit down every day and get through these lectures, no matter what, this is priority number one, even though I'm not attending them live, then I think you can do this. For me, that's what I always set out to do. Is I never try to get behind in the lectures, because if you do this not attending them live, your brain will play little tricks on you, like, oh, you can just watch it later. Oh, maybe just tomorrow. But you can't let your brain do that to you, because not watching lectures live is a really easy way to fall behind really quick. So it comes at a cost. You have to be disciplined, but you can build your own schedule around really whenever you want if you are not attending lectures live. And this is huge for MS1 and MS2 students like me, because we have all this didactic knowledge, and like right now, especially with the pandemic, we're not doing much stuff in person live. So I think we have a unique opportunity here to be students, but at the same time have a really flexible schedule with how we study, why we study, and the ways in which we study. I'll do another video on like how we should be studying compared to students that were taking the exam for making a score on STEP, compared to us now, my class of students that are getting a pass-fail grade on STEP. But that's a whole different topic. So yeah, so that's about all the points I have for this video. Also, if you know stuff about cameras and camera tech stuff, could you please help me out for a second? If not, all right, if you did stick around, I have this camera, a Canon EOS M10, and I have a question about, this is a lens attachment on here, so how to get something off this lens attachment. I'm not going to go into details on it here, but I'm super excited. I upgraded my gear, I got a camera set up, and I'm ready to make some vlogs. So please let me know down in the comments or Instagram DM me. It would be greatly appreciated. And as always, guys, have a great day. And yeah.